All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first episode of the Skoop Sportz podcast. Finally, my God, we have gone through some nightmare scenarios.
We have not been able. All right, so the first time we ever tried to record,
Week
it was
three.
on Discord. Yeah, week three. We did a Discord call. It didn't record the audio. It went really well. It was a good take, and it just didn't have any audio.
Yeah, it was weird.
So then we try it again that same week in my old dorm. I moved dorms, and now and that didn't work either because I never uploaded. Last week we were both busy. I was busy. He was sick, and we couldn't record last week either. Now here we are, finally. Week 5 now? Yeah, week 5.
Week 5.
It's been a crazy season so far.
Yeah.
Week 5. We're finally here. The Skoop Sportz podcast is up and running.
Finally. God damn it. This took.
Watch it not upload now that I say that.
I swear to God. Because I tried to upload week 3 and overnight. Mm-hmm. And it just didn't. I wake up in the morning, I called you that morning.
It'd be 0%, and I'm
it was just processing was abandoned. I'm like, what the fuck? I never even closed the page. How does processing get abandoned? I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess we'll start off introducing ourselves. I'm Alex. I'm the freshman at Marshall University.
I'm the
I
freshman.
played I played football in high school, and I've been coming to Marshall games ever since I was 3. So, I kind of have that love and respect for college football. And beside me is Will.
What's up? I'm Will. I am a sophomore here at Marshall. I am a big fan of college football also. I've been going to games, off and on, really. I haven't been able to go much last year. I've been going to games since I was 8 years old. And I've always loved Marshall. I grew up loving Marshall, and hating the schools that are all around us. I've kind of grown to love and respect for college football. It's a lot of fun, especially with a season like this where it's unpredictable. We're sucking on our picks this year,
I gotta say, thank God our week 3 podcast didn't upload because holy shit.
So many upsets.
It was,
but
even Marshall. Marshall was a victim of the upset. And on that note, we're gonna go ahead and recap. We'll go ahead and start with weeks 1 and 2 for Marshall. To be honest, I liked what I saw those first 2 weeks.
I loved what I saw, especially against Navy. I mean, NC Central could have been a lot better, but again, I feel like an FCS opponent is kind of there as just that, a tune-up game. So I'll be like, okay, I'll cut it some slack. We'll do better against ECU, and then obviously that didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen.
Navy, we looked phenomenal. I mean, that wasn't even a question. We looked like a top 25 team.
Yeah.
In that game.
If that Marshall that played Navy played ECU and App State, they would have easily won.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then on that segue, we're gonna go ahead and go to the next 2 weeks. The 2 weeks that Marshall unfortunately took the L. To ECU and App State, and ECU, it was both games. It was really just a finishing problem, but in the App State game, there was a little bit of questionable calls.
I mean, again, I feel like it's another case of not being able to finish. There was a lot of points where we could have scored and we didn't. The ECU game hurt really bad. We were literally right there on the goal line when he picked the ball off for the win. We were right there. We were at that goal.
Front row. We were sitting in the
front row. At that goal line, we watched him intercept it, and we were just dead.
Heartbroken.
We were heartbroken because that was okay.
Wells threw it higher. I was
predicting a perfect season for Marshall, personally, because I felt okay, we can get past App State, which I feel like is definitely doable. We were on the table.
But, I mean, at the same time, if we went out, we are at the worst case scenario, which isn't bad. 10-2. I'll take 10-2 any day.
Yeah. I mean, that was the lowest I actually saw Marshall going was 10-2. A possible loss to App State, and then maybe UAB later on. I don't see us losing to FAU like people think we're going to. I did, or at least at the start of the season, I didn't. Now we might be 8-4, maybe 8-4 now. Because if we do end up losing the FAU and UAB, that's going to be bad. And obviously we'll make the conference championship. But unless somebody gets 3 losses. But Mm-hmm. Conference USA hasn't been known to be very competitive. I mean, it's always like the same few teams. So
Every year.
yeah.
And, well, that should bring us to this week. We'll go ahead and get straight into the predictions, Will. All right, you cool with that?
Yep.
We kind of got
100%. I'm depressed by Marshall's losses now. So.
God, those past 2 losses really.
Well, we
really
can talk
hurt.
about the other games that happened last week, like Clemson being number 25.
Oh yeah, that's right. Clemson lost to
NC
State.
All right, so I'll read off the rankings real quick. Actually, if my computer fucking loads.
It's a bad word, but we don't care. we accept all,
Wordy dird.
except the N word.
With the rankings, obviously it's not surprising. Okay, obviously it's not surprising. We got Bama's number 1. They're getting the majority of the votes. They got 58 first place votes. They lost one. To Georgia. Georgia now has 4. They're in second place. Third place is Oregon, which I can see that. I guess.
Yes.
I mean, we'll see where it goes from there. Penn State is up to number 4. So our top 4 right now, if the playoffs are happening, take a listen to this: Alabama, Georgia, Oregon, Penn State.
Oregon alone is insane.
Penn State to me is
Oregon alone. Oregon.
there's a large possibility the Pac-12 might get in this year.
Oh, is it? Are they doing top 6 this year, or is it top?
No,
4?
it's top 4.
Okay.
They aren't gonna implement the 12 team until a few years later.
Well, dude, I'm excited for that. That playoff system.
Give you boys a chance.
Yeah. Group of 5 teams. BYU's and Wisconsin's has SEC.
BYU's gonna be Big 12 soon, so they're not gonna. Yeah, BYU's gonna be Big 12 soon. So. Iowa's number 5. Number 6 is Oklahoma. They dropped down 2 spots despite winning. They barely beat
West Virginia.
Big Brother. They barely beat Big Brother by 3. So I don't see. And I'll get to this later. I don't see them making it much longer. Spencer Rattler's not a Heisman candidate. I don't care what y'all say. He's not worthy. Cincinnati sitting up at number 7. They moved up 1 after a win against who was it? I've lost my train of thought now.
I don't know.
They won last week. That's all we know.
Yeah, that's all that matters. We don't care.
Yeah, actually, no. It was a bye week.
Oh.
It was a bye week. But they moved up 1. Another team that moved up a bunch, moving up 8 spots from number 16 to number 8 is Arkansas.
Sheesh.
A top 10 team.
Arkansas, a top 10 team. I never thought I would see that in my lifetime.
Woo pig suey. Yeah, Arkansas's looked really good so far. I mean, they've handled their business against who they need to. They defensively dominated Texas A&M last week. You're in the driver's seat. Now, the only team I feel like is holding them back really in the West is Alabama, obviously. Because they just took out Texas A&M.
Upset Texas.
Yeah, I wouldn't really call the Texas game an upset.
Shush.
Well, I'm talking about like SEC teams.
Oh yeah.
In the West, they just took out Texas A&M. I see Texas A&M losing at least 3 games this year. They're gone. So really, I feel like at this point, the only team in their way is Bama. But to really lock up a possible tie between the 2 teams, they gotta beat Georgia, and I don't see that happening. So we'll see what happens. Arkansas definitely so far has looked like a top 10 team, but we'll see what happens. They face Georgia this week, so.
And number 9 I see right there is a little bit questionable. Notre Dame sitting at number 9.
I wouldn't say it's questionable. They're not labeled as a playoff contender right now. They're number 9. I don't label them as such. They're number 9 right now. They got Cincinnati this week. That's a tough test for both teams. Cincinnati wins. They definitely. We'll go back into detail more. Cincinnati will definitely have a case if they win that game. Notre Dame, same thing. So, just a bit less. Just a bit less. Number 10 is Florida. I agree with this 100%. Florida is definitely worthy of that number 10 spot. Their only loss is to Alabama, and it was just by 2 points. They looked good in that game, even though they lost. They handled their business last week. They're doing good for themselves right now. They've got Kentucky this week, a solid Kentucky team that I feel like should be ranked, but they aren't. So we'll see what happens. Florida looking really good right now, and I think they're definitely deserving of the number 10 spot. They're still in the mix.
Then we have Ohio State, Ole Miss, BYU, Michigan, Texas A&M, Coastal Carolina, Michigan State, Fresno State, Oklahoma State and UCLA, to name them, from 11 to 20.
Yeah, Ohio State, their defense.
Defense.
Like
Their stomping sound didn't.
Yeah.
Carpet.
They're having a bit the same issue that Marshall's having right now. Their defense is just nowhere to be found. Yeah,
which is weird for Marshall because traditionally their defense.
Mm-hmm.
I always get
especially last year.
I'm a defensive guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I always get excited whenever I see a defense will come on the field. But in Marshall's case, because their defense is traditionally good, oh my God, it's like another level of excitement.
But this year has just been kind of abysmal, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
It's been abysmal. It'd be nice.
And then
have it back.
From 21 to 25.
I didn't even get to talk about Ole Miss. I want to talk about Ole Miss.
We'll talk about Ole Miss, you piece of shit.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. We get along amazingly.
Yes, we do. Ole Miss is 3-0. They've played some solid offense. They've been pretty good so far. They got a Heisman candidate at quarterback. They'll give Bama a run for their money. They got Alabama this week. They'll give them a run for their money. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a good game, I feel like. BYU surprised me this year. They're number 13. I'm not going to talk too much about them because they're about the same team they were last year. They're pretty good. They're definitely a contender for that New Year's Six. Michigan surprised me as well. It's just a matter of getting over Ohio State, I feel like, for them.
That game this year should be really, really good. I'm excited for that.
Mm-hmm. Texas A&M dropped down 8 spots after losing to Arkansas. They got to find an offense if they want to even have a chance of getting back into the mix.
Mm-hmm.
So, Coastal Carolina moved up to 16. I mean, not really much to say about Coastal. They've looked good. Michigan State, they're undefeated. They're number 17. They moved up 3 spots after barely inching by last week.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Was it Nebraska?
I think.
Yeah. They barely inched by, but they're still alive. Moved up 4 spots at 4-1 is Fresno State. They've looked good. I mean, I can't really say much. I'm really impressed with their quarterback. Really impressed. Really, really impressed with their quarterback. Oklahoma State, they weren't ranked last week. UCLA moved up 4 spots after their win. Baylor wasn't ranked last week. Auburn State goes up a spot. NC State's a little questionable for me, even though they beat Clemson. I'd say give them another week to prove themselves, then rank them.
Mm-hmm.
Wake Forest is undefeated. They're number 24. Their best win was this past week. So.
Yes. And then I never thought I'd be saying this anytime soon either, but dropping, how many spots was it?
16 spots.
Dropping 16 spots after the loss to NC State. Number 25, Clemson. They got to be cringing. Clemson fans, if they're listening, have to be cringing. Cringing. They have to be cringing to this now. They have to be cringing hearing number 25 Clemson.
Yeah, like this is funny. The first time in I think 5 or 6 years that Clemson's been outside the top 10. And I don't even think they should be ranked. I'm gonna be straight up. I don't think Clemson should be ranked. Damn. The coaches poll has them at 19.
That's being nice.
That is being nice.
That is being nice.
Fix the damn offense. Defense is great.
Yeah.
Defense is great as usual for Clemson. The offense is nowhere to be found, and this is why they're losing. Uiagalelei, I think that's, yeah. I did a really good job of pronouncing his name. DJ Uiagalelei. You were expected to be the guy that took over for Trevor Lawrence. You were expected to be a Heisman candidate. You were expected to be a beast, and what have you been doing other than throwing picks?
Fun fact, the offensive coordinator for the Baylor Bears is my dad's name, Jeff Grimes. I shit you not.
All right. Before we deviate more and more off topic, let's go
Week 5 predictions.
Week 5 predictions.
Woo!
Probably going to have to cut out a lot of that because I don't want to piss off any random Clemson fans. Because I probably just did that. I probably just did that by saying that.
All right, anyway. First game we have on the slate for Week 5 is number 5 Iowa and Maryland.
This is actually tougher for me to choose.
And this one's actually Vegas is saying this is a toss-up, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Now I'm not so sure. I mean, Iowa struggled last week against Colorado State. That wasn't expected. I expected Iowa to win by a good 30, personally. We'll see. I mean, Maryland, their games haven't been that crazily impressive.
Who have they played, actually?
I think their best win was against West Virginia.
Yeah. Convincingly. Well, not that convincingly.
I mean, they beat Howard 62-0, but that's an FCS team. You're expected to do that. Illinois, they barely inched by.
Mm-hmm.
They did okay against Kent State. They won by 21.
Mm-hmm.
So that's solid. But I think Iowa gets back. I think Iowa bounces back from a tough week. They didn't lose. I think they bounced back from a poor performance. I think Iowa finally shuts down Maryland. I think Iowa wins that one.
I've also got Iowa, and so does ESPN and Vegas by 3.5.
I've been wrong plenty of times. We've both been wrong plenty of times this season. So.
And
we'll get more into detail on how this season.
Well, this season has been like 2007 all over again.
It's crazy
nuts.
So far. Oh no, I'm waiting for Bama to lose or Georgia. I'm waiting for it.
It's bound to happen eventually. But anyway, next game on the slate. This is a little rivalry we've got over here. It's not as big as BYU Utah, but BYU and Utah State going at it.
What's the spread on? I haven't even checked out the spread on that. It's 9 for BYU.
Yeah.
I'm taking BYU by 9 and then some. I think BYU.
So BYU's going to cover.
Yeah, I think BYU covers. I think they win that game. They've looked better than what I would have ever expected this year. I thought they were going to take a huge step back. I've been picking against them all year. It's time for me to start respecting BYU. I'm going to choose them, and they're going to cover.
I'm also going to pick BYU, and so does ESPN. With, as Will stating earlier, ESPN has BYU winning by 9. What else? Ooh, this one's a good one. We got number 8 Arkansas and number 2 Georgia.
All of us.
Oh my God!
all of a sudden, this is a really important game. Georgia's favored by 18.5. I think that's heavily disrespectful, personally.
We looked at this earlier, but I completely forgot.
Yeah, 89% chance
of Georgia winning.
And that's a little disrespectful for me. I am picking Georgia.
Top 10 matchup. Holy shit.
I am picking Georgia. I do think Arkansas gives them a run. Again, I picked against Arkansas till last week, and I picked them. I did pick right. One of the few games that I picked right was an upset. So, hey, look at that. But I'm going to take Georgia over Arkansas. It's about time they get shut down.
What are the chances the game that we actually picked right was an upset, right?
I mean, we've picked a couple upsets. We picked Michigan State over Miami.
We did do that. That's in the Lost episode.
Mm-hmm. We picked. I have been picking a lot against Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of Notre Dame, I'm taking Georgia. By the way, what are you taking?
I'm also taking Georgia.
And I don't think they cover.
No, they don't cover.
They don't cover.
But yeah, ESPN has.
Call me Corso.
ESPN has Georgia by 18.5.
They don't cover.
No.
I'd say at most 10 points. At most 10.
Not at all. Next up.
Speaking of Notre Dame.
Yep. Cincinnati at Notre Dame.
Oh, this is one we're gonna.
Okay,
this is one that we're gonna disagree on. I feel like
we don't disagree often, and well, we're gonna do it here.
I'm picking Notre Dame because Cincinnati is a great team. This is gonna be a close game. Like, this isn't gonna be a dominant performance by any stretch of the imagination. I really think Notre Dame gets it done here because I feel like against Wisconsin, against a solid Wisconsin team at that, they really finally showed up and came into form. I really feel like Notre Dame gets it done here. They're going to look to make a statement because some people are betting against them. I do think Notre Dame gets the win here, though.
Well, in my opinion, that clock for Notre Dame is tick-tock, tick-tock, about to run out. So I'm taking Cincinnati.
I mean, I agree, but I don't think it's going to happen against Cincinnati.
Well, I do. So I'm picking Cincinnati, and ESPN is picking Notre Dame with a 57.9% chance to win, and it's a toss-up. Vegas is picking Cincinnati by 2.5. So
it's a big toss-up. That's game of the week right there.
If you're betting, if you're
have
gambler,
fun.
Yeah, have fun with that
one. Next one up is
gambling.
Number 12 Ole Miss at number 1 Alabama. This is gonna be another good one too. What's your pick? buddy? Buddy old pal?
I think I got Bama on this one.
You got Bama?
I got Bama.
It's going to be a shootout. It's not going to be a blowout by any stretch of the imagination. Ole Miss has surprised me this year. Bama's favored by 81.
No,
points.
that's the
About 80, like
by
80%.
14 and a half.
They're,
14 and a half.
I said 80 points, like it's basketball or something. No, they're favored by 14 and a half. It's gonna be a shootout. Offenses. I don't think Bama's defense is crazy good. It's great as usual. It's Bama, so of course everything about them is great. But when it comes to the defense, I feel like when it comes to offense especially, I think Ole Miss is definitely a solid team behind Coral. So is Bama behind Young. So I think definitely this is going to be a quarterback battle to the end. It's going to be a shootout. I think Bama gets it done in a shootout at Bryant-Denny.
Yeah. I also got Bama, and so does ESPN.
I don't think they
in
cover,
Vegas.
though.
No.
By 10.
No.
I say by 10, not by 14.
Vegas has Bama by 14 and a half.
I say by 10. So I don't think
Which
they cover.
is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And here's another good one. Not interesting on the surface,
That's going to
but
be great. This is another one we disagree with.
yeah, Oklahoma and Kansas State.
Oklahoma's time is up. It's the same thing you said for Notre Dame, except I'm saying it for Oklahoma. Oklahoma's time is up. Because last week, a team that they should have blown out in West Virginia
Kept it competitive.
kept it close. It was a low-scoring game, too. Oklahoma.
I watched that game and almost fell asleep.
Right. I thought y'all had a Heisman candidate.
Oh, damn. We're pissing off Oklahoma fans now.
I thought y'all had a Heisman candidate.
Shit, now everyone's
Listen.
going to come after Marshall.
Oh, they're gonna come after me. Like they're gonna come after me. I don't hold back. No, like in all seriousness, I don't think Oklahoma's that team anymore. I don't think they're even deserving of being a top 10 team right now. I think Kansas gets it done for a third straight year. I think Kansas State gets it done in an upset. I think time's up.
Well, don't worry, Oklahoma. I'll save you guys the trouble. I'm picking Oklahoma as well, and so is ESPN. The matchup predictor for ESPN has Oklahoma at an 83.7% chance of winning, and Vegas is also going to pick Oklahoma by 10.5. I don't think they cover. Oklahoma does not cover. I'm taking Oklahoma by 3.
It's over. Oklahoma's done. I'm sorry.
What's the next
Not so
one?
fast, my friend.
Not so fast. Lee Corso, to quote the famous
Call me
Lee
Corso.
Corso. God, I love him. Florida at Kentucky.
This is gonna be closer than what people think. It's gonna be what's the spread? It's
It's that.
8.5. That's actually pretty close to what I was gonna pick. I think Kentucky's better than what people are putting them out to be. They're 4-0. They're undefeated. You know, they looked good on both sides of the ball. I mean, defense was a little questionable against Mizzou, but they picked it up a little bit. You know, they look like a ranked team, but they're not ranked. So they're one of the teams that, on my personal top 25, I have them at number 22. So I got you, UK. But as for Florida, they look great too. Their only loss is to Alabama, and that's a very, very respectable loss. Very respectable, especially considering the fact that it was a very competitive game to the end. So I'm going to pick Florida in this one. It's going to be close. I don't think they cover. I think it'll be by 7, not 8. I think they'll win by at least a touchdown, but it's going to be competitive.
I'm also going to take Florida in this one, and so is ESPN. The matchup predictor for that one has Florida winning at a 77.4% chance of winning. Holy shit, what the fuck is my English?
Mm-hmm.
And Vegas is also going to pick Florida by 8.5. What's the next one?
The next one is Baylor, Oklahoma State.
Baylor, Oklahoma State. That is interesting. Top 25 matchup, and oh my goodness, this is a toss-up.
All right, so with God damn it, Baylor, Oklahoma State. Both teams looked pretty okay. I mean, Baylor upset Iowa State. They were number 14, knocked them completely out the rankings. As for Oklahoma State, they looked pretty solid last week, taking out Kansas State. I know off camera I picked Baylor. I'm gonna actually pick Oklahoma State. It's gonna be a close game though, very, very close. Baylor's defense keeps it competitive, but I think Oklahoma State pulls away in the end.
You know what, Will? I'm also going to go ahead and pick Oklahoma State, and so does ESPN. They're picking Oklahoma State with a 53% chance to win, and they're also going to pick – Vegas is also going to pick Oklahoma by 3.5, which is very rare with these types of toss-ups.
This is fun.
Oh, yeah.
This one's going to be funny.
This is going to be a fun one
Western
for us.
Kentucky at number 17, Michigan State. As Marshall fans, you guys should already know who we're going to pick. I'm kidding. Michigan
Imagine.
State.
Imagine, yeah. This one's a no-brainer.
It ended upset. No, I'm kidding. No, sorry, WKU fans. You may actually be cool. I've met cool WKU fans. I've also met some douchebags. But I'm just going to say this. Western Kentucky is not – your guys aren't as good. I'm sorry.
Listen, Western Kentucky fans. At least you're not like Appalachian State fans. Just
oh, yeah.
saying.
They were straight up – no, they are. My computer died.
Awesome.
My computer wasn't
Don't
even
worry.
on 50%.
I have the Discord up. Ha, ha, ha.
My computer wasn't even on 50% and it died.
Awesome.
That's fun.
But, yeah, I'm also going to take Michigan State, and so is ESPN.
They cover, by the way.
Oh, my God, yes. They got Michigan State with a 89.2% chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
And Vegas is also going to pick Michigan State with a surprise by, holy shit, 10.5. Next game.
It's Texas Tech at West Virginia.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's hard to pick a team that allowed 70 points. I'm picking West Virginia. I'm picking Big Brother.
I'm also going to go ahead and pick WVU in this, and so does ESPN. They've got West Virginia with a 72.6% chance to win.
Oh, shit.
And they're taking West Virginia by 7?
I think they win by more than that.
7?
We got you, Mountaineers.
Are you kidding?
We got
7?
you, Mountaineers. I especially am respecting you majorly. I've picked you in almost every game y'all have played this year. I didn't pick you against Oklahoma, but I honestly you almost made me wish that I did pick you. Now I'm picking y'all against Texas Tech. So I swear to God, if y'all fucking lose.
We are unbiased, by the way.
Yes.
And then next up,
Make the state proud, please.
if Tank Bowl was a thing, this would be it.
Oh shit.
Ohio 0-4 Ohio going up against 1-3 Akron.
They have a win? Akron has a win?
Yeah, Akron won. They're 1-3. Who do they beat? Probably a lower FCS school. Who did they beat?
They beat Bryant.
Yeah.
It was an FCS team. Okay. I'm picking Ohio. I'm going to be straight up. ESPN's picking Ohio, too.
Oh, yeah. I'm picking Ohio. ESPN has Ohio at a 62.5% chance
Watch
to
Akron
win. And Vegas is also going to pick Ohio by 9.5. Akron wins, I swear to God.
Oh, my goodness.
And finally, we're going to move on to Conference USA play with Marshall and Middle Tennessee. This one actually went down.
I think Marshall will definitely pick it back up. They're 2-2. This is so weird to say, but they're 2-2 right now.
You don't see Marshall at 2-2 often. We normally lose later in the season.
Yeah, we do. I'm going to pick Marshall. They're going to win by more than 10, which is what ESPN is covering them at. I think they win and cover. They're going to go in against a very subpar Middle Tennessee team. Sorry, Middle Tennessee fans. This is kind of a rivalry, too.
Mm-hmm. Guy just walked by. We're sitting in a lounge, by the way. We're not in any particular studio or dorm. We're in a lounge.
Yeah, no.
That's how cheap we are.
But with...
and flat out broke.
Right. But, no, Middle Tennessee hasn't looked good to me. Marshall's going to bounce back. The offense has been great for Marshall. It's just the defense is the issue.
Mm-hmm.
The defense is the issue. And we're running the ball behind Prince Ali.
Fun fact, Prince Ali is the nation leader in points scored and touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
And Grant Wells, I think, is number 5 in the nation for passing yards.
Rasheen Ali, to those who are wondering, he's a freshman.
He's already a beast. He's like another Ahmad Bradshaw.
Or Devin Johnson.
May he rest in peace.
Devin Johnson.
But getting back on track, I'm also going to be picking Marshall, and so does ESPN.
Totally not biased.
No, not at all. But just to prove it, ESPN has Marshall as of recording. They've got Marshall at a 60.6% chance of winning.
At the start of the season, it was an 85%.
Mm-hmm. And Vegas has Marshall at a -10. And, well, I think any last final thoughts before we head out? Prince Ali, goated is he, Ali Ababwa?
Nah.
Oh, look at this, another 6, lovely to see.
I feel like we're gonna see a lot of sixes from Rasheen this week.
Oh
I'm
yes.
just gonna be honest.
What
Sorry,
did
Middle
that-
Tennessee.
What does that famous Alabama YouTuber say? Run the ball.
Run the ball! I got you, funny man. I watch you all the time.
Yes.
Every
And-
Sunday. Every Sunday.
And on that note, we're gonna go ahead and end this first official podcast. Hopefully, please God,
Hopefully.
YouTube upload this.
Please.
God. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end it there. My name's Alex, and next
My
to
name
me
is Will.
Will. Fuck you.
Shit. Let's edit that out. Do it again.
And we'll see you guys next week. We should have a podcast uploaded every Friday for you guys. So, yeah, we will see you guys next week for even more college football predictions and recaps of this upcoming week. Goodbye.